Trials by ordeal, like reaching into boiling water to fetch a stone, were meant to let God decide if someone were guilty or not. King Athelstan's laws laid out the rules for these ordeals, saying the wounds had to be checked 3 days later. If they were healing clean, that meant innocence. If not, guilty as charged. It weren't really an advancement by today's thinking, but back then it were a proper part of the law. Folk believed God wouldn't let the innocent suffer unfairly. Another common trial by ordeal were the hot iron, where the accused had to carry a red-hot iron bar in their bare hand for a set number of paces. After that, the hand were bandaged up, and 3 days later, it were unwrapped and checked. If the wound were clean and healing well, they were found innocent. But if it were infected or looking bad, they were judged guilty. The coronid were one of the more unusual trials by ordeal, meant mostly for clergy or folk of high rank. It involved eating a bit of blessed, but secretly cursed, bread and cheese. The belief were that if the person were guilty, God would make them choke, fall ill, or show some other sign they'd done wrong. But if they swallowed it fine with no trouble, that were taken as proof of innocence. People did fail the coronid, though records are rare and patchy. The most famous tales about Godwin, Earl of Wessex. He were accused of lying to the king and took the coronid to clear his name. But as the story goes, he choked on the bread and dropped dead on the spot. Folk at the time saw that as God's judgment, plain and simple. And ducking, being tied up and dropped in water. They reckoned that holy water would reject the guilty, so if you floated, that meant you were in the wrong, but if you sank, you were seen as innocent, though of course that came with the risk of drowning before they pulled you back up. Be sure to check out my other channel, History Sticks, for the complete, longer and comprehensive video.